She stole magic moonlight to become rich. But the next morning, the moon disappeared from the sky. Long ago, in a quiet village surrounded by thick forests and silver rivers, there lived a young girl named Amora. Amora was beautiful, but her heart was never satisfied. If another girl wore fine clothes, Amora wanted finer ones. If a farmer owned one goat, she wanted two. No matter what she had, she always desired more. The villagers often whispered among themselves, Amora's hunger for riches will one day bring her sorrow. But Amora never listened. One evening, as the moon glowed brightly above the trees, Amora walked alone beside the river. There, she saw an old woman kneeling near the water, quietly washing clothes beneath the moonlight. The old woman looked up and smiled. "Why do you carry such sadness in your eyes, child?" Amora sighed deeply. "Because everyone around me has more than I do." The old woman studied her carefully, then slowly, she dipped her wrinkled hand into the river. To Amora's shock, the water began to glow. The old woman lifted a silver calabash from beneath the river, shimmering with beautiful moonlight. The light danced like stars trapped inside water. Amora stared in amazement. "What is that?" she whispered. The old woman's voice became soft and serious. "This is borrowed moonlight. It grants beauty, riches, and admiration to those who possess it." Amora's eyes widened greedily. The woman continued, "But the moonlight only blesses grateful hearts. Use it selfishly, and darkness will follow." Amora barely heard the warning. Without thinking, she snatched the glowing calabash and ran home through the forest. That night, she used a single drop of moonlight. Instantly, her small broken heart transformed into a magnificent house covered in gold and silk. The next morning, the villagers gathered outside in shock. Amora stepped outside wearing elegant clothes brighter than the sunrise. People admired her beauty. Traders brought gifts to her doorstep. Children followed her through the village. For the first time in her life, Amora felt powerful. But soon, admiration was no longer enough. Every night, she poured out more moonlight, more gold, more jewelry, more beauty, more attention, and with every wish, the silver glow inside the calabash slowly faded. Still, Amora could not stop. One cold evening, she tilted the calabash again, but this time, nothing came out. The silver light vanished completely. Suddenly, a terrible wind swept through the village. The sky turned black. The moon disappeared. Darkness covered the land. Like a curse, children cried in fear. Rivers became silent and cold. Crops began to die beneath the endless night. The villagers trembled as hunger spread through the land. Amora looked up at the empty sky and realized what she had done. Terrified, she ran back to the river clutching the empty calabash. Falling to her knees, she cried out into the darkness, "Please. I only wanted happiness." Moments later, the old woman appeared once more beside the water. Her face looked sad. "Happiness borrowed from greed always leaves darkness behind," she said quietly. Tears rolled down Amora's face. "I was wrong," she sobbed. "Please forgive me." For a long moment, the old woman said nothing. Then she reached into the river one final time. In her palm rested a single glowing drop of moonlight. She placed it gently into Amora's hands. "This is the last of the moonlight," she whispered. "This time, choose wisely." Amora stared at the glowing light. She thought about using it to restore her beauty, her riches, her grand home. But then she looked back at the dark village behind her. She heard hungry children crying. She saw frightened families waiting beneath the empty sky. And for the first time, Amora thought about others before herself. Slowly, she lifted the final drop of moonlight toward the heavens. The glowing light rose into the sky like a shooting star. Suddenly, the moon returned. Silver light spread across the land once again. The river sparkled. The crops revived. Warmth returned to the village. The people cheered with joy as the darkness disappeared. Amora's palace vanished, replaced by a simple little hut. But this time, she smiled peacefully. From that day forward, Amora became known not for her beauty or riches, but for her kindness. And the elders of the village would forever say, "A greedy heart can darken the world, but kindness brings back the light." And that is where today's story comes to an end. But in the heart of Africa, many more untold stories still live in the shadows of our ancestors. If this story touched your heart, Don't forget to like, comment what you think happened next, and subscribe for more powerful African folktales every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Thanks for watching. See you in the next tale.